And the opposite, v'lei makdishin. I can't take the kedusha off them and put it onto another animal. The Gemara is going to ask, how did they become kodesh in the first place? Okay. The Gemara now says, my time of the Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda. What's the reason for Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda? Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda says that a mistake is as if it's on purpose.
Again, the Gemara basically says there's no... The first part.
I'm sorry, I ran through it. Yeah. Those animals, I'm sorry. Also the animals that are, their gender is like undetermined. So that's also has the same category as those animals that are not eligible.
When the Gemara starts explaining halfway through the Mishnah, it's saying that the first part of the Mishnah is self-understood, clear, no problem.
I think so. Yeah, but it doesn't go back to explaining that.
Wow. And non-machlokes Mishnah.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because it could be we've discussed some of that Mishnah in earlier. My time with Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda. What's the reason for Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda? Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda is right here. He's a son of Rabbi Eily. Okay. And let's assume that Rabbi... Oh, I can't make any assumptions here. I thought Rabbi Lazar would be Rabbi Lazar ben Shmuel, because we have Rabbi Lazar at the end of the Mishnah. However, in the side, it's telling me that it's really Rabbi Eliezer, which means Rabbi Lazar ben Hurkanus, Rabbi Lazar Agadol. So the generations here in the Mishnah are surprising, because we have Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda first and Rabbi Eliezer later. Which, when you learn Mishnayos, you have a different sort of limud, because when you open up the Mishnayos, the commentaries on the Mishnah would discuss something like that. Which, how could Rabbi Eliezer be quoted later? If he came first, it should be mentioned first. But on the Gemara, we just go through what the Gemara discusses. The commentators on the Gemara sort of ignore that discussion. So, Amar Kra, Pasuk says, Yeh Kodesh. It should be holy. L'Rabbi Shogeg K'mezid. It's coming to include, even if it's a mistake. It's as if it was done on purpose. Heichidami Shogeg K'mezid. What is the case? What are you talking about? Mistake. Mistake of what? Amar Chizkiya. Chizkiya says, K'savar Shu Mutar L'Hamer. What's the mistake? He thinks that it's permissible. And ignorance of the law
it's not
right. It's no excuse. So it's considered like it's on purpose. So Gabi Temurah lucky, but Gabi Kachim Loi lucky. What does it mean Gabi Kachim Loi lucky? You don't get malchus for Kachim. That means that if someone would try to make an animal that has a mum kodesh, you won't get malchus for that. But if you do Temurah onto an animal that has a mum or something, then you will get malchus. Not because of the mum, because it's mura. But either way. Lishnach Rina, I don't know how to read these things, they're taking it out, they're putting it in. Gabi Temurah Kaddish, Gabi Kachim like Kaddish. Doesn't have to do with malchus. Another pshat over here is that it has to do with, does it work? And by Temurah, it doesn't matter, even if it was a mistake, because you thought that it was allowed, it works. Now you drop Rish Lakish and you put in Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan Amar is supposed to say, "Kasavar lai metmuras oila v'metmuras shlamim." He said the wrong thing. He wanted to say an oila, but it came out the wrong thing. This happens to some sort of slip. He said the wrong thing. By Temurah, it takes effect.
By what was the yiftach? He said he was gonna, whatever would come out of the door would be an oila. Why didn't he just
it was a mistake.
chill or whatever?
And that was the whole thing with him and Pinchas. Each one was... Nobody wanted to go and annul it. He says, if you let him come to me, let him come to me.
In the meantime, the girl just sat.
Pinchas is, even though the Gemara criticizes that, but Pinchas was thinking that why can a chacham be mater a neder? Because a person only makes a neder with the intention that if the chacham would agree to it, then so you go to the chacham says, no, I don't know, like it's as if al das the chacham would agree. So when can you say that if you made it al das the chacham, if you're ready to go to the chacham to be mater? But if you're not going to go to the chacham, then you probably made it on your own, and the chacham can't just go ahead to be mater. That's an excuse for Pinchas for not. It's a deep shot. So, Rabbi Yochanan says he thought of saying Temurah Seila, but instead he said Temurah Shlamim. So it's going to take effect. So Gabi Temurah Shlamim Kaddish, Gabi Kachim like Kaddish. If he wanted to say, if he says this is Shlamim and he meant to say it's an Eila, it doesn't become a Shlamim because it was a mistake. Hektish Betas, it's called. Hektish Betas saying a Hektish. But by Temurah, if it's a mistake, it is Hektish. Another pshat, Ksavalai Meshachav Armalavan. He said the black one should be Temurah instead of it. He said the white one. Or he wanted to say the black, instead he said the white one. So Gabi Temurah Laki, Gabi Kachim Lai Laki. Okay, now, instead of saying Rabbi Yochanan, say Rish Lakish. Rish Lakish Amar, by Meteti Zu v'Tikanes Zu. He said this one should go out and that one should go in. So Gabi Kachim. Okay, what are we going to do over here? Gabi Kachim. How would this work? See, what would this correspond to Kachim? We're doing a compare and contrast. Kachim is more lenient than Temurah. So by Kachim, what does he say? He says, I'm going to eat this animal without redeeming it. By Temurah, he's taking one, the Kedusha of one, and putting it on the other, and he's thinking that the first one should be permitted. So by Temurah, he gets Malkus for that, and by Kachim, he doesn't get Malkus for eating it without Pidyon. Why not? Sure. Why doesn't he get Malkus? I'm not sure. Okay. Rav Sheshes has another pshat. Rav Sheshes says, "Va'omer ekanis l'bayis zeh va'akdish va'omer midaiti v'nichnas v'heimer v'hikdish le'midaiti."
You sleepwalking?
Yeah, something like that. He says, how do you have it? What is it? How do they write it over there?
He planned to purposely perform Torah or an unlawful consecration. Subsequently, while entrenched in thought and without remembering his original plan, he performed Torah unintentionally.
V'hikdish le'midaiti. In other words, he says that he's going to go in and do Temurah, but instead he did hikdish. He was makdish. So what happens over here? Gabi Temurah Laki. He gets Malkus for Temurah, and Gabi Kachim Loi Laki. What does it mean, Kachim Loi Laki?
Shouldn't it be V'hikdish v'himer, not himer v'hikdish? Don't you first have to make something
so
Kodesh, then to have Temurah?
Yeah, so what's that, your Bais? I don't know. No, because v'himer Hikdish le'midaitei. Let me see your Gemara here. He entered the house and performed Temurah or consecrated unknowingly.
Or you're saying it's an or.
It's an or.
Either
right.
Hemir or Hektish.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Going on over here.
under the table business.
Just checking it out.
So what happens? Gabi Temurah Lucky. With regard to Temurah, he gets lashes. Gabi Kachim Loi Lucky. With regard to Kachim, he does not incur lashes since an erroneous consecration is ineffective. It must be that he's trying to consecrate an animal with a mum. Or else why should he get Malkus for making something Kodesh? Okay, the next Gemara. Rabbi Lazar, this we said it's Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Lazar Amar Kalayim Batreifa, Amar Shmuel. It's important what Shmuel says here, because we had a different way of learning this. We could just learn, Rabbi Lazar says, Kalayim and Treifa and Yetidaifa and Tumtum and Dragoneth, you can't be Makdish them. But Shmuel says, like Kedoshim b'Temurah, you can't be Makdish them with Temurah. In other words, even when you try to extend the Kedusha over to it by exchanging it, And you also can't make other things Temurah off them. Tanya, Amar Reb Meir. Reb Meir says, if these can never become consecrated, even with Temurah, how could you try to exchange something with them? It's only possible by the case of a treifa, that you were first makdish the animal and then it became a treifa, and now you're trying to make Temurah off it. Or the makdish vlad, if you were makdish the offspring, yotza derech doifen, and it went out as a cesarean. So you were makdish it in a permissible way, in a possible way. But those cases, it's only possible if tumtum is
it's covered. The genitalia, so you don't know if it's male.
You can't tell. Gender is undetermined.
Always depend on it.
So it's only possible if it's an offspring of an animal that was a korban. That's the only way that you can have a crossbreed or a tumtum and androgynous that are consecrated, because the animal, the mother, was holy, and then the offspring, and it's going aliba de Rabbi Yehuda damar havlad isa Temurah, that says normally a vlad can do Temurah. Rabbi Yehuda held. We had that in the Mishnah before, but over here not, because these animals have a problem. They can't do Temurah. Amar Rav Papa, my time at Rabbi Lazar. Rav Papa says, what's the reason for Rabbi Lazar? Kibehema Tmeya. It's like you compare these animals to a non-kosher animal. Why? Because a non-kosher animal can't be brought as a sacrifice, and these also can't be brought as a sacrifice. So therefore, there's no way of extending the kedusha over to another animal by exchange. Ma behema tmei like karava, v'lei natzle kedusha zaguf. A kedusha zaguf, that means like the kedusha that makes the body holy, that it could be brought as a sacrifice, cannot be applied to a donkey or a horse, a non-kosher animal. Afhanach like karva v'lei natzle kedusha zaguf. They don't become holy that you can extend the kedusha over when you try to exchange it. Amalei Rav Papa l'Rava, who was saying this? It says Rav Papa was saying this. So there's got to be something to. It's supposed to be Amar Rava. Before it was Amar Rava. Now it's Rav Papa saying to Rava. But a Balmum, when you're going to try to compare this to an animal that can't be brought as a sacrifice, you compared it to a behemoth tmeya. But really, it's more similar to a balmum, an animal that has a blemish. The loikarev, it can't be brought. However, v'nach le kedush zaguf, but it still became holy. So these animals should also become holy, and therefore, if it becomes holy, then you could do Temurah off it. Amalei balmum karev b'mina. A balmum, its species can be brought, but here we have a type of animal that its species can't be brought. If it's a crossbreed, even its species, another type of I don't know what the kosher spread. Not a mule, but some other crossbreed that can't be brought. But okay, you only answered for a crossbreed. But what about a treifa? Its species can be brought. So why are you saying that the kedusha doesn't go on that? Elam Rava, Rava needs another pshat. It says kibehema tmei, it's similar to a non-kosher animal. Ma behema tmei psula guf, afkol psula guf. We're comparing it not to something that can't be brought, but we're something that's invalid. Lafuki balmum, it's invalid, but it's a different sort of invalidity. The psul chisaron inu, it's because it's lacking something. It's not intrinsically forbidden, pasul, invalid. It's just lacking something. Amalei Ravada l'Rava v'leisruah v'kalat ksiv v'parsha. What are you saying? We have another type of balmum that's invalid because it's missing a limb. That's a psula guf. It's not just a minor blemish, and nevertheless it becomes holy. So if you're trying to compare it to something it has an intrinsic invalidity, so we have that by a balmum as well. V'hahani psula guf nino, when those are intrinsically invalid. Elamarava kibehema tmeya. Ma behema tmeya deleka b'mina. I've called deleka b'mina. Just like a behema tmeya, we have nothing in its species. So too, any other animal that in its species cannot be brought, that's also doesn't get consecrated. Lafuki balmum deleka b'mina. This excludes a balmum that it does have its species can be brought. Okay, we should stop over here.
Oh, yeah.